Hey everybody, JJ here. It is Wednesday, December 6th, 2020. Chaos is erupting at the Capitol, and we have a lot of protests, nothing too violent, a little bit of tear gas, things like that. A lot of unhappy people in the world nowadays, especially in the United States. And the markets are still holding up strong, surprisingly, actually not surprisingly, if we've seen how the markets have performed over the chaos that's been unfolding here for the last 4 years in the United States. But apparently, a lot of people think that their candidate is going to send out larger stimulus checks. I don't know what the big deal is here because it seems like we haven't seen much change happen over the past 4 years versus in previous years. It's more of the same. The rich get richer. The middle class, more from that category, can continue to drop down into more poverty. More people living paycheck to paycheck over the last 4 years versus previous years. But yet people are still fighting. They're holding on for the failures of the last 4 years to try to continue. And that's why I try to say here, try to be as self-sufficient as possible. There's nobody that's going to come in and try to save you. And that includes these puppets, the transition into a new one. It's not going to really make that much of a difference. It's going to be more of the same. All right, so hedge yourself, prepare yourself, because again, nobody is going to save you. Okay, sure, one party might send out larger stimulus checks. It might be easier if a certain person wins to get more handouts, but in the end, it's not going to change the long-term trajectory. A stimulus check is not going to get anyone out of poverty. Right? It may get them a few meals. It may pay their rent for a month if you're lucky. In some states, in some cities, that's not going to even pay your full month's rent. All right, so we're in a world of mess, folks, and it doesn't seem to be really any light at the end of the tunnel. And I expect to see more major things occur over the next few months. Of course, we're going to see a lot more craziness unfold even throughout January. But the Dow Jones, S&P in the green, the Nasdaq down in the red just slightly, Russell 2000 up, oil back up over $50. You would think the economy was back at full capacity and not in shutdown mode with the price of oil here. So I think we know what's happening with oil. Gold 19.19, silver $27.28. Both of those are still holding. Bitcoin broke $35,000 today. It's now at 34,850. Simply amazing for those of us that were prepared, that knew that this was going to happen, the run up, all these dollars created out of nothing, creating inflation, and there's assets here and there that are considered not just safe havens, but ways to hedge yourself against this absolute insane monetary experiment that we are all living under right now. Some of us are benefiting more than others. All right, and people consistently, I see in the comments and send me messages, what do I do? How do I prepare? We've been preparing here for years, and we told you to buy certain assets at certain times, and we're going to continue to say that. And I still am doing the same thing. If something goes up in price, take some off the table. I'm not saying sell it all because it could go up even higher. But if you see a massive price surge, and you know what I'm talking about, a massive price surge, take some off the table. But don't sell it all, because you're going to be very sad if you sell it all and you see it go up double or triple from here. You don't know what's going to happen. Right? So hedge yourself against this insane banking system right now, with bankers that want to do more of the same failed policies that did not get us out of the last financial crisis. All we witnessed was more debt accumulation. The Fed balance sheet, massive increases, and the Fed can never unwind their balance sheet. Otherwise, this whole fake, fraud, phony economy simply collapses. And they do not want, they definitely don't want to allow deflation. They do not want to allow deflation, because if they do, that's going to make this wealth effect, or this wealth illusion, it's going to reveal the true colors of this rigged economy. But actually it would be better though, because when there's a lower cost of living, when there's lower prices, then more people have an easier time. Of course, if you're investing like we do here, then you benefit from these rising prices. All right, there's always a bull market somewhere. I think I've heard that said by several different investors. All right, quick shot here of this article out of Market Watch. Distress looms over commercial real estate in 2021. Many of these commercial properties are financed, and what's going to happen? The banks are going to get fed endless liquidity. So the investors that got in over their heads, that did not prepare for this downturn, they're likely going to get bailed out. If they don't get bailed out, they'll file bankruptcy. But most of these investors have several different legal entities, so a bankruptcy here may not affect the overall portfolio of a lot of these huge investment firms. That's the name of the game. Basically, the rich will not be hurt. Many of the rich in the top 10% will not be hurt at all. In fact, they're gaining more wealth. But people that think that this is going to somehow affect the people at the top, maybe just a little bit, but most of all, the wealth is increasing for the people at the top. It's going to be the middle class, the working class, and Main Street that's going to feel the brunt of this. Even if you see bankruptcies, believe me, these people are smart. They're not going to allow their total worth to get wiped out. A lot of them went into alternative assets and digital assets. All right, and that's one of the reasons why you're seeing a huge run-up in the prices of the areas that we have been talking about today. Okay, but most of all, what's going to happen when people have nothing left to lose as we continue to see this economic collapse unfold? You're going to see more and more danger. You're going to see crime rise. Crime has already been rising in many areas, especially these larger cities, but it's going to come out into the countryside. So I don't think you're going to be safe. People are going to be going looking for food. All of these people in these food lines. What's going to happen when the food lines run out? Do you really think there's going to be an unlimited amount of food here, as farmers are also facing very, very difficult times, as the trade war and the economy and just the weather patterns have decimated so many of the farmers here in the Midwest in the United States. The bread basket is getting beat down. These farmers are not going to be able to keep on growing food. We're going to see more farms get foreclosed. Food shortages. The food banks are eventually going to run out of food. And it's a global problem across the world. We're seeing very, very difficult times. You could say we can just keep importing food once the food runs out, once the U.S. farmers are wiped out. But this is a global economic downturn. Situation critical, people. Prepare. Try to cut back on unnecessary spending. Try to keep getting those canned foods. Keep preparing, because things are only going to get worse, in my opinion. And we're going to see even more insanity unfold here as the days go by. So going to leave it here for now. I got a few errands to run today. Thanks everybody for being here. Stay well, stay safe, stay prepared. Invest to survive, invest to thrive. Bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye for now. Peace.